Welcome friends, Amy here today to share with you how to create our new Clapperboard die. This is such a fun, interactive way to wish someone a happy birthday. I'm going to show you how easy it is for this card to come together. This is a standard A2 card you can slip inside of an envelope when you're done. Let's start with all of the products you need to create this card, and these all coordinate and work together. So you have the Clapperboard die, which is 2 big pieces. You also have the Birthday Takes stamp set, and you have a coordinating die for that so that you can pop those greetings and utilize those. Then you also have a numbers stamp set and a numbers die. You can use these together or separately. They actually both work on their own great. Okay, this is the top pocket piece that you will need to create your Clapperboard. Then attached to that is actually this top piece of the Clapperboard. Then inside you have your slider. This is your connector. And then this is the piece right here. This will fold over the top and I'll show you how to assemble that. Now let's go ahead and get our pieces die cut. Okay, for today's card, I'm actually going to do a brighter palette for birthday. We have salmon, papaya, golden, leafy, minty, and our beautiful cornflower. I am going to create the base for this card using the salmon. So I have die cut that top pocket piece using the salmon. Then you will want to grab another sheet of salmon paper and a paper trimmer. Now the reason you have to cut another sheet is this is just the top pocket. You will also need the back. We didn't want to make you pay for a big square piece that you can easily cut with a paper trimmer. So we wanted to try to keep the cost down on the die because it's already expensive. So let's go ahead, and what you'll do is you'll measure from score line to score line, it's 5.5, but you want to go slightly smaller. And the reason for that is you want to make sure that when you fold it over, it doesn't create a funny little puff if it's too tight. So I go just the next little line between 3/8 and 1/2. Then if you measure from score line to score line, you have another 3.75 inches. So let's go to 3.75, bump it over just a little bit. This helps so when you fold those edges over, it doesn't bubble or create a funny little pocket. Make sure you grab your Stamp Market bone folder. If you haven't used these, you're going to love it. It's the perfect size and easy to use. Fold this over, really score and burnish those. Just like that. Now add a little glue to the inside edges. You can use double-sided tape if you want. Liquid glue works really great too. Slide that little pocket right inside. Fold the flaps over. And then just make sure that dries. Now what you have is a little pocket. Okay, next up, we want to cut all these top pieces from white. Okay, next up I have die cut the insert, the little top tab, the connector, and the other top of the clapper, all in the white cardstock. I just am using 80 to 100 pound cardstock, whatever you have on hand. Now I want to point out before we start assembling that you can stamp these pieces before you put it together, but luckily the way this die comes together, you can actually stamp after you've assembled it. That's rare for a die, but in this case it works really well, and that way you can get your placement perfect after you've assembled the die. So I do recommend waiting unless you're maybe doing something a little extra special or that's going to require a little bit more flexibility with your die. Now I have made this really easy for you to put together by placing all of the holes exactly where they need to go. And this will make it come together seamless, as you'll see in the next moment. Okay, we sourced the perfect little baby brad to put these together, so you will need a brad to assemble. And you just need 1 per card. Our package has 25, so you can make 25 cards. Okay, the first thing you'll want to do is secure this down to the top of the salmon cardstock. Now don't get any glue on the little tab. For now, just add glue to the long strip and then attach that directly to the top of the pocket. Just like this. Let that dry for just a second, making sure you have it nice and lined up. Okay, now you're going to open that pocket up and tuck. I didn't get enough glue there. Make sure you let that dry good. Now, you want to tuck that little tab inside that edge and then add glue right inside that. So it glues to the back edge, and hold that in place. Wipe off any of that glue. Okay, make sure that's good and dry before you move on. Okay, up next, you're going to simply slide this insert right inside, leaving it up just a little bit. Then you'll line up your circles, those holes, just line those up and fit that clapper together. Now, this isn't the final assembly, so you have a little wiggle room here until you actually put your brad in. Right now, we're just trying to line it up so that you can add the color to the top of your clapperboard. So we want to just have it in place so we can add these fun colors to that top. Okay, we simply want to die cut those in a variety of colors. Now feel free to just die cut in white, and you could ink blend one section of color on each of those so you can create a multicolor design. But I have a little trick. I love to just die cut these in the colors so that I can use them over and over, and I just have some extras on hand. One thing I do is when I die cut that through the machine, it actually, when you pull off the excess paper, it's usually stuck in the die pretty well. So what I do is I take a strip of removable tape, pink tape, purple tape, whatever you have, and press that down. And that just holds those in place as you pop those out of the die. And that way you don't lose your pieces, you don't lose the order they go in. This works for a variety of small dies. When you have bigger dies, usually you'll want to maybe grab some cling wrap, but this is a great way to keep organized when you're creating so that you're not frustrated with all those die cut pieces. Okay, pay attention to the end of the die. This end has the sharp points, and this is actually slightly cut off. That's going to line up to the edges of the white. So grab some tweezers and a little bit of glue, and we'll start assembling these colors onto our clapperboard. Now you want these to line up top and bottom. So start at the edge. Little liquid glue is really nice to use for this type of project because it's movable. You have a couple of seconds before you're stuck in place. Then you can set these aside and use them for another project. That way you can make multiples. Just make sure that's lined up good. Next up, we have the yellow, leaving approximately the same space between. This is where it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact. You just want to make sure the top and bottom are lined up. So I don't worry too much about what the die look like. I mean, I try to follow that, but it's more important that your top and bottom piece are just lined up like that. And I'm just going to continue this with the rest of the colors. And look at that fun rainbow of colors. Now let's get those top pieces on. Making sure we hold that in place so it's nice and lined up. Okay, you should have something that looks about like that. Okay, really make sure that that insert is pushed over to the left as far as it can go. Line up your holes again. Make sure everything is nice and square. And then I grab a little clip. You can use a paper clip of any kind, just something to kind of hold this together so it doesn't move around on you. Then we're going to take this little attacher piece. Now what you want to do is only add glue to the bottom section of this attacher. Then line up that circle and glue that in place. Then you're going to take your little brad and pop that right in the circle. Right in the hole. Bend those little flaps over. Okay, there's no glue here, so this will move. Now you need to attach this to the back piece, making sure it's nice and lined up to that top edge. So just add a little bit of glue, not too much. It doesn't need a lot. Hold that in place. Make sure it's nice and straight. And now you have a working clapperboard. And now the fun part begins. We get to decorate this. Now, if this bothers you on the back, obviously go ahead and cut yourself a second piece of white just to cover that up and make it look nice and finished. Now you want to grab your stamp set. I have ours stored on our stick and store sheets. You're going to grab that large image and you'll need a block or a positioner. Now next up, we're just doing basic stamping. You don't need a special tool or anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and use white pigment ink because I'm going to emboss white onto the colored cardstock. Don't be afraid to just use tone on tone. You could do gold embossing, you could stamp black, you could stamp one of the other colors, you could even do the darker papaya on here and just create that darker tone on tone. A lot of different ways you can customize this. Okay, you'll want to rub a little embossing powder, embossing buddy over the top just to make sure you don't get white everywhere. And then I've lined that up. Okay, let's ink that up. Now be careful not to squish down too hard when you're creating these types of projects with those lines. Okay, now I'm going to emboss that. I'll be using my tried and true Wow detail white embossing. Look at that. This is where it gets fun because you can start to customize this any way you want. Okay, I now have my clapperboard numbers and the coordinating dies, and I am going to actually stamp these in white. Sorry, I'm going to stamp these on white using, I think I want to do the golden. And I'm going to just do this. I have a 20th birthday card that I actually need to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scrap here of golden. I'm going to use my scrap of white paper that I've got right here. I'm going to grab a block and stamp those at the same time. Now make sure you burnish these really good, getting all of that residue from the production of making stamps off. And I just use the palm of my hand. It works really well. Really gets all of that off. Okay, using my golden ink pad, I'm going to stamp those up really good. Now, if you haven't used these foam ink pads, they work so great for this type of project with these solid images. Just gives you a seamless ink image. Look at that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and die cut those numbers. Now, when I die cut the 2 and the 0, I'm going to go ahead and also die cut it in diamond glitter cardstock as well, so we can do a little offset. Okay, let's decorate our clapperboard card. And I have stamped those and stamped the birthday celebration from the stamp set. In addition, I have die cut using the confetti piece, a bunch in the same colors, and the happy birthday as well. Okay, I have stamped the happy birthday celebration in silver detail embossing powder. And I am just attaching that to the front of the card using some foam tape. Next, let's go ahead and add those cute numbers to the front of our card. Okay, we're just going to slightly offset these on top of the glitter cardstock by moving it down and to the right, just so there's a little shadow of sparkle. Who doesn't love a little birthday sparkle? I even think if you're giving this as a masculine card, you can still add some shine. Okay, center those on your clapperboard. And start adding some of your confetti details. I love using just the different colors, layering those underneath the numbers, and just to give it a little bit of that, bring in that colorful bit from the top. It's so fun. It's just a little explosion of color in there. And it does take a little bit of extra work to add a few of those confetti pieces, but I really think that it's worth that extra effort. So just grab a little bit of the confetti, some of the different colors. You definitely need some tweezers for this part because they're really tiny pieces. And I usually try not to put the same colors by each other. I just think that's a good rule of thumb when you're creating that confetti feel. And then let's add a little blue. We definitely need a cute, bright pop of blue in here. Okay, just some random sprinkles to make that so cute. Now let's open this up and decorate the inside. Now, before I move forward and decorate the inside, I do want to show you, if you have any gift cards, you can simply slide in a gift card, line that up like that and press down. You could even put happy birthday over that, but there you have a gift card holder as well. Super easy to make. Love. I mean, what a fun surprise for a birthday. Not the cutest card to show you, but that's all I had on hand to share. Now to decorate the inside, you want to open this up and kind of look at how would they end up reading it. They're probably going to read it a little bit on an angle, but not too much. So go ahead and add your greeting. It can be slightly on an angle as well. Just add a little bit of glue with that birthday. You can stamp the inside with any of these greetings. There's so many. Happy, happy birthday to another amazing year. Time to party. So many fun ways to use this. This would also be a really great invitation as well. Now, if you don't enjoy the die cutting process, you can skip this and just stamp. I am just here to show you the possibilities. Obviously, real life gets in the way, and we don't always have time to create like this. So do what you can in the time that you have, because a handmade card of any kind is still better than store-bought. Once you make one of these, you're going to be addicted, and you'll find lots of fun ways you can use this. I've been really excited. I want to make a floral one where you open it up and there's a bunch of florals stamped and die cut. I just think it'd be so cute to make this very feminine. Oops, I'm having a... Now to finish that off, you could easily add some more confetti inside. You could even drop some confetti inside the card, so when they open it, they get a little bit of a surprise as well. If you still want a greeting, you could simply add a gift card to the back. A lot of fun ways you can use this. And I want to be sure to show you that this fits inside of a standard envelope. Don't be afraid to explore different color combinations, pattern papers, masculine, feminine, add some florals, some cute watercolor images. There's so many ways you can utilize this die. Be sure to tag the Stamp Market and show us your fun creations using this die and these stamps. I had so much fun today sharing these cards with you. I hope that you have a chance to head on over to the shop and get one of these dies and fun coordinating products. If you're not subscribed to the Stamp Market, be sure to subscribe. We have more fun videos coming. Let us know that you liked this video, and we'll be back soon to share more ideas.